This is my normal routine for planting out leeks, and I just fill a barrow with water and take my plants which were deep sown in these deep containers, and I basically just soak them. What that does is it enables all the soil to fall away from the roots. Let's see if we can get this out in one easy go. Usually can. There we go. And that will just soak in there now. And I'm going to leave it, go for my lunch, and then when I get back it'll be absolutely sodden, and I'll be able to just tease these plants out of the soil, and then they'll go into the holes that I've just made in the bed, and we'll water them in. And it's as simple as that. But this method makes sure you get good healthy plants, and these are all nearly a pencil's width and quite a lot longer than that, so they're absolutely fine, ready to plant. And this is Musselburgh, my favourite, and I've got here a couple of other varieties, and I think I'm going to end up keeping these until I take the garlic out. The garlic's looking really well, but but it will come out in July, so it's got a few more weeks, and I'll get those in when they come out. Well, after a pleasant lunch, it's time to get on with the leeks. So we're just going to put a little bit more water on top and then start breaking them up. And the idea is that you can get these plants out, give them a bit of a dip, and there you have it, all separate plants which you can just tease out, ready to go in the holes. So I'll tease these out. I would think we're into about 30 plants here, and we'll get them in. So I've been able to pick out the very best, which in this case is the thickest stems, and I'm literally just going to drop them into these holes. And the way to get these rooted is just to water the hole, and that gets the soil around the roots and they're away. So this really is a very straightforward job, and I'll work my way through these best plants, and if I've got the need for more I can take them from all those spares. And what to do with all those spares is another question. I may well find somebody on the plot who's in need, and I'll keep an eye out. So I'll keep them going for a while, put them in the spares area, and then they can be shared if there's somebody who's got an interest. Right, well, I'll work my way down this bed and get them all in. And they will flop over, but give them a good water and a couple of days and they'll all be stood up. Well, I've already found a home for the spare leeks. I saw one of my neighbours and asked him if he wanted some, and he said yes please. Fantastic. But I was surprised how many leeks I needed to fill that, and I'm still not absolutely sure I haven't missed a hole, but there we are. I've got some spare if I need them. So they're in, they're well watered. You literally drop the leek into the hole, fill it with water, and the soil just surrounds the roots, and job done. And they'll just sit there now in this warmth, and by tomorrow morning I would hedge bets that they'll be stood up just fantastic. So I'll cover those over now, make sure they're protected from the cats, and I think that's me done for today. The sun's getting pretty warm, I need to cover my head, and I've had a good day. Well, temperatures are still high. In fact, they're forecast to be high for the next week or two, so prime time to put those squash, pumpkins and courgettes out. So I think I'm going to select what I want out of those. And I've got a fair old spattering here. We've got Blue Hubbard, we've got Strawberry Crown, we've got Red Warty Thing, and of course we've got Small Sugar Pumpkin, one of my favourites, and we've got Green Hokkaido, and what's this one? That one's not got a label that I can read, which is a bit of a challenge. But we've also got courgettes to go out. Let's have a quick look at those. So we have courgette, that was the long version, courgette verde Milano, and cucumber, and that is market more. So we can get the cucumber in here, we can get the courgettes out, and we can select the pumpkins, probably the ones with the labels. In the meantime, the strawberries are just very prolific, and so I'm going to pick everything that's red and we'll have it for tea. Well, you can't beat homegrown fresh strawberries, and there's some cracking strawberries in there. Well, it's the perfect weather for this. Not boiling hot, but also not raining. So I'm going to have to get a few of the weeds out of here first, which I've done a few times already. So this will hopefully be the last of the weeds that are really going to have an impact. And then we'll get these courgettes in. So what have we got here? That's the longer variety. Well, we've got 4 nice plants there. And we've got the Verde de Milano, which is another 4 nice plants, and that's the cucumber. So we've got 8 plants that we can get in here, and in reality it's probably only going to need 5. I may push it to 6. So I'll get the weeds out and we'll get those in. Okay, here we go. Let's see what spacing we want. Now these do get quite bushy, as all courgettes do, at least hopefully they will. So we're going to put in 3 there, I think. And we'll just take a look at what 3 more of the other variety looks like. Stick that in there. Well, we grew the striped variety last year, but Mrs. Kay didn't like those, so they're out. And these are the all green ones, 2 different varieties of all green. Okay, so that gets us to 6 plants. I think we can probably stretch to 1 on the end. And then if we do have a failure, then hopefully we've got enough going on to save us. That just leaves 1 plant, which we'll keep as a spare or a backup in case things go wrong. And of course the worst thing that can probably happen is slugs. So fingers crossed we're not going to get those, but I think we might consider what protection we put in place for these. Now I'm going to get these in so that the stem isn't covered. The growing stem just needs to stay above the ground so that it doesn't rot, but we'll get it nicely firmed in. There we go. I'll work my way down these, and hopefully this dedicated mound of homemade compost will serve as a good growing medium for these. Right, onward. Well, that was a decision on the hoof. Why not put these tomato collars onto my courgettes, just to keep them stable. There's a bit of a breeze around, and of course they help to water slowly through the holes in the bottom. I don't know what that'll mean for slug protection. We'll have to wait and see. I think I'm probably going to end up putting some eggshell around these, but that'll give them a good start. I've not seen a lot of slugs on this bed that I built. I think that's because it's fairly dry and fairly large. It means they've got to cross quite a lot of soil, and there's not been anything in there that's been particularly attractive for them for quite some time. So fingers crossed on the courgettes. Well, up here on the squash bed, I haven't been doing anything for a long time, and you can see how the mare's tail or horse tail has been growing in the pathways. I've got a weed I need to take out there, not quite sure what that is. And I just need to open up these holes. They've been mainly covered with bits of slate, and take any weeds out that I've got. And we can see there's one there. Oh, that's quite a deep one. And one there. If we can get rid of that, that gives the pumpkins and squash a good old chance. And then it's quite damp under there, which is fantastic. And of course my new bed that I put in when I did the pond, haven't made any holes in yet, so I'll just need to cut some holes there, and then we'll get these squash and pumpkins in. Just got to decide what I'm going to have and where. So I'll get them arranged and then I'll tell you what I've decided. Well, I'd like to say there was some fantastic logic to the way I've set these out, but there isn't. I'm just trying to keep them together in types. So this is green Hokkaido. So get him in. And the soil is really nice and damp underneath here. Just going to make sure they're firm down nicely. And then again, I'm going to have to think about what protection I can offer these so that they don't get eaten by slugs in a very short time. And there's 4 of these, and they're very healthy looking plants, so fingers crossed they'll do well. There we go. So the rest of these, I've got the strawberry crown, which will go in those 2, and we've got pumpkin red warty thing, 3 of those, and 2 small sugar pumpkins. And then I've got the blue Hubbard over there, which I know are very prolific growth, so there's loads of space there, and if they want to grow over they can. And then I've got the random label that's not got any writing on it, probably faded, that I'll put in all the other spaces. So I'll get on, get them in, and then give them a good watering. And hopefully this warm but not scorching weather will be perfect. So this is one of my secret weapons. This is just simply a black gutter or downpipe, which I've cut into lengths and drilled holes at the base. And then it's got a simple cable tie at the top. And all you do is push this down, avoiding the roots as low as you can go. And then this serves as a watering point. And as this plant spreads and gets bigger and bigger, so it gets more difficult to see where to water. And all you need to do is find this point and water straight down into it. So I'll work my way through and get those in place. Oh, and the label just tucks into the cable tie. Good times. So these next few days are going to be a critical time for these courgettes, pumpkins and squash, because we just got to keep the slugs off them whilst they get established. And if they can get growing, then to be honest, slugs and pests don't really cause them too much problem. It's just getting them underway, getting some big leaves on them, and then they'll be fine. Wow, last plants of the day, I think. Get these cucumbers in. We've got 3 there. I think 2 is going to be all we need. And I think we'll just put the biggest ones in. And this is cucumber Market More 76, whatever that means. And we'll put one in this corner. And it's very dry in here, so they're going to need a good watering in. There's one. And this is the other big one. I get him in. put them in next to this paving stone that I've put in here, or I think it's actually a post cap. Enables me to step in there, which is a good thing, but it also keeps a bit of the moisture under there, which helps the roots, so that works well. Just got to water, and that's it for today. I do hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and if you want updates from me each time I upload a video, click the bell and select all. I do hope you have a great day. Diolch yn fawr.